Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
And today on Forget What You Heard, this is a special day in the history of this podcast. The 100th episode, baby. We did it. Mama, we made it. We're happy to be here. But before we get on with the celebration, and a great podcast we have for you guys, a special one, something we never done, something we really look forward to doing. How are you, my dear brother bear?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. I'm blessed. I'm honored to finally reach that 100th episode, man. That's a huge milestone for Forget What You Heard. Who would have thought, man, looking back on our first episode, that we would be, put down 100 of them so quickly. I'm very honored, very thankful to have this platform, to have this podcast, and it's been a journey so far, and it's been a blast, man. And to say we've done 100 episodes, thank you guys for tuning in and listening, and just honored.
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do this podcast and bring content for you guys, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
We're just cracking the surface, man. Well, let's get into what we're doing today. Special day. We're going to talk about our fantasy football home league draft. We're going to go through all the picks, what we like, what we didn't like, what's interesting. We're just going to cover basically all the bases of fantasy football while going through our home league, which is Campbell's League. It's been going for a decade, highly touted. Very competitive. It's basically our family and friends, but only the best of the best survive in Campbell's League. Would you agree, Luke?
Yeah, man. It's just one of those leagues where you have to bring your all. Everyone is very competitive. Just to be able to win Campbell's League, the people in Campbell's League understand the stakes and the honor to win it, and very competitive, easily my favorite league that I'm in. And it's just something we'd like to talk about, especially in our 100th episode. Share our draft that me and Aaron are both in, kind of share our thoughts, and to kind of pull it all in, man, because we haven't done a whole lot of fantasy, maybe as much as we wanted this off season.
Yeah. And
with the season about a week away, get some more fantasy content in there. Let you guys hear our draft. See how the draft fell out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this episode will just encapsulate everything involving fantasy drafts, ADPs, what we like, what we don't like. So it's going to be a pretty gnarly episode. I'm really looking forward to it. And this is also the first time we've ever, gone over done a draft recap, with Campbell's League. So we're looking forward to it. Shouts out to everyone in Campbell's League. I love you all. You made it a competitive league. Great draft, by the way. I'm very, very stoked about the outcome. Everyone came hard-hitting. Everyone's looking to get that notch in their belt. It's going to be fun. We're not going to use any names, like actual names, just team names.
Mm-hmm.
But let's, you want to get it started? Oh, before we get started, I want to give a big shouts out to Bulletproof Brian Robinson, baby. A tragic situation. They're trying to hit a lick on him, take his car, fought the little bandits, shot him in the knee. He took it like a man. No ligament damage. That's very impressive. He fought hard, and prayers up, speedy recovery. Looking forward to seeing you on that field this year, brother.
Yeah, what a crazy incident that was. It's kind of crazy because we were literally about to start our draft, 30 seconds away from the start, and I get a notification, kind of freaking out because it was like Brian Robinson, suffered 2 gunshot wounds. And I saw that, I was like, oh man. So I clicked on it, and luckily he's in stable condition in the hospital. You just never know with gunshot wounds, and very thankful that he's still here. Also, it was just crazy, like right before our draft, we get that news.
Like your reaction, I was thinking it had to be football related, but my mind never went to that dark place that it was gunshots. I was thinking like a trade, something like an injury. And then I hear that and I'm like, this is bigger than football. We got to stop the violence. I think it was a 15 and 17-year-old just trying to he probably has a really nice car, and they're trying to, and he fought back. He wrestled the gun away. And took the bullets. Luckily, there's not really big injury. I think it's just, he just needs time to heal. But Bulletproof Brian, I think, is the nickname we're going to call him for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I think the story alone is what's so amazing is, he takes 2 gunshot wounds, which is serious. But for his case, it happened to go through his knee. No serious ligament damage, no busted knee. Like, that's crazy. And then the next day he's out and he's already back at Washington's facility.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a crazy story, man.
Maybe it should be Bulletproof Brian.
Bless Brian.
Bless Brian. Yeah, but I just wanted to shout that out real quick. So that's one of the crazier stories to happen right before the draft. And, I was anxious. I know, I was a little anxious. I can't speak for Luke. Before Campbell's League's draft, I was a little amped up. Trying to iron things out in my mind because whenever that clock strikes 0 and the first pick, you hear the buzzer. Oh, let's get into some details. We're on Yahoo, 10 team, half point PPR. Just to throw that out there, but when that little chime goes off, it's all business. All bets are off. You don't know what's gonna happen in this draft, and let me tell you, it did not go as planned. As for drafts, you go in, you got to expect the unexpected, and it was unexpected, but you got to roll with the punches, man. And it was quite the experience.
Yeah, I think definitely like the first round, like just waiting. I mean, me and you, I would say we were prepared.
As much as you can be.
Like pretty prepared heading into this, but it still doesn't take away from the nerves, the anxiousness that you get when that, round 1 especially, because round 1 is a big round. You don't know who's going to fall to you, especially if you have some of those later picks. You're just seeing, the big names get called off the board, and you're like kind of scrambling. You don't want to, waste your first pick or feel rushed on your first pick because you're like, I got to, really take the guy that I want, the guy that I think is going to be the best here. And it's definitely nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I think you gave me the best piece of advice this whole before the draft. You can't put yourself in a box, man. You got to be, what did you say? You have to be water. Fluid.
Yes, sir.
You got to be able to, maneuver, zigging and zagging. You got to be able to make those moves on the run and be confident in them. And I think that's the most important thing. If you're confident in a player, you take them, man. You don't let outside, biases sway you either way. I think Luke gave me the best piece of advice, and I recommend it to everyone about the draft because I know drafts are coming hard and heavy, so stay strong out there, brothers and sisters.
I think in 10 team especially, like our home league, like you can kind of get away with just taking the guys that you feel is appropriate at that point. You can get away with it in 12 teams, but with 10 teams, it's just like if there's a guy around a certain ADP, like you can get away with taking them.
Yeah, you have some leeway.
Yeah,
in a 10 team
compared to like a 12 or 14.
Right. Yeah, where it's more rigid. But that's what I like about 10 team. To me, it's still very competitive, and but it still gives you that leeway where you're not. You have some room to maneuver.
Yeah.
And not feel so bad about a pick.
My thing with 10 teams is the people who play like the 12 and 14 teams who like discriminate on people who play 10 teams. I don't really understand that. They say,
what's the hate, man?
Yeah, because just because, you potentially do end up with a better roster, like every other team is
Has
also going to be
Has
better.
the same chance of
So
getting a good roster.
Wouldn't that make it even more competitive? If
See-
every person has good players on their team on a 10-team league, but compared to 12, you could have that one or two team where they lose out on some big names or don't draft well. They're going to be at the bottom of the barrel. But like in a 10-team, you have so much more leeway to still build up a good team to where
Right.
every team's competitive.
Yeah, I think we should end fantasy football hate. You know, we're all in this together. It's a brotherhood. We're going to help each other out with advice, trades. I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to win the dang game.
Everyone's
man. We
trying
all
to
have
win.
the same goal. We're trying to get the belt. We're trying to lift the trophy. We're trying to get that notch in our belt. So in the hate, man, it doesn't matter 8-team, 10-team, 8-team, you know. I used to have a little skepticism, but you know, yeah. Everyone has their own jive. Everyone's got their own, you know,
Yeah.
music to dance to.
Yeah, I don't mind the amount of people you have in your league. My issue is if you go on, Sleeper app or Reddit, and you go on some guys, boasting about his 10-man team league or his 8-man team, like, oh, look at my team. My team's amazing. It's like, yeah, let me look at every other team too. Those teams are probably really good as well. So if you're one of those guys that go out there and boast about your team in a 10-man or 8-man league, then yeah, you deserve, dude, you're in a, Mickey Mouse league. Like, your team's going to be good on paper.
Yeah, and there's also the people that claim they're in a 14-man league,
Yeah.
and they'll literally be in a 6-man league, and they'll post their roster and be like, 14-man PPR, how'd I do? And it's literally like Josh Allen, Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley. It's like that.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's a pissing contest at that point.
Yeah.
Those people are the ones I have problems with. Be honest. We can help each other out.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
We're here to help. We're
Yeah.
not here to
We're
judge
not trying to
or
be the
yeah.
best of the best of the best in history. I mean,
No one can.
we're not even the same. The people you're posting for aren't in your league. Like, they don't matter.
They don't
I think
care.
yeah, we don't really care unless you're being honest and you post your 10 team and it's reasonable. It's similar
Yeah.
to yours. You can see like how they drafted and how you drafted. That's what it's
Right.
for. It's help.
Like, give someone a reason to say something nice. Give someone a reason to comment something informative to you instead of you trying to get something out of someone else.
Right. I mean, there's people like that and everything.
Yeah, that's life.
But yeah, let's get started, man. Oh, you got
I want to
something
talk
nice.
about this strategy in a 10-man league
Mhm.
because there's a lot of debate on this topic, and going into it, I heavily considered the idea of going either way. So in a 10-man league, a lot of people will tell you to wait on quarterback and tight end because 10-man league you're going to end up with Rodgers or Stafford. You can wait and get those guys. You can wait and end up with Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth at tight end, and then just load up everywhere else.
Right.
But I would say the argument for a 10-man league, like going out and getting, a Herbert, Josh Allen, and then grabbing, another elite tight end like a Pitts or a Kittle to team up with them to have that extra advantage to your 9 other league members. What do you have to say about what strategy you think has an advantage?
I think there's pros and cons to both, and I think there's not a right way. I mean, I've seen both work.
Yeah.
Really, it just depends on the year and like the outlier and how good that tight end is. There's league winners at every position, and if you hit on one of those league winners, I mean, that's why I don't have a problem with people that live by taking a high tight end and the number 1 quarterback. I have no problem with it. It's just not me, man. I've never done it. Maybe I should try, but I feel comfortable in the way I draft, and I don't judge anyone for drafting differently than me. And sometimes I feel envious of those that get the top guys. I feel envious of the person that drafts Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, or has Josh Allen, because I know they don't have to worry about.
To my opinion, I think they give you an advantage over the rest.
I think they do. It's the top 3 do.
So, but what makes you not as intrigued in like a top tight end? Because you think like a later tight end can kind of put up similar.
Right. I don't think the difference between tight end is a weird position, and I think the difference between tight end 4 and tight end 12 isn't that much.
Okay.
I guess you could say I'm playing it safe by playing that way. But that's just, I don't know. That's what I believe. It's like something it's been ingrained in me from a young age. Do not treat me like a stranger. I got something in my shorts, I'm not sure. Like, for example, if someone is taking Travis Kelce in the first 2 rounds, I always think to myself, that wouldn't be me. It's that type of thing. I don't know if it's the way I was raised, if I dropped on my head as a child. I'm not really sure why I'm the way I am, Luke. But that's just the way I think, man.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really been like a tight end early guy. I know I've taken Kelce a few times in our home league. It does feel good to have an elite tight end like that. And normally, I think most people think the same way you do. Is like, I don't need an elite tight end. I'm not going to spend a second or first round pick on Kelce in years past. And now Andrew's been going in the 3rd round. He went in the 3rd round in our league too. So I just think people are okay with taking, a receiver or running back in those spots, pretty elite ones, instead of taking, a tight end, which you can just, get a Goddard or someone later to fill in.
Yeah, and like I said, there's no right way to do it. I think everyone has their own methods to the madness. It's fantasy football, dude. It's really a crapshoot. I mean, so my way's not better than yours. Your way's not better than mine. We just, coexist and see who has the best team at the end of the year. But I will say, a tight end or an elite quarterback is the difference between first and second. A lot of times.
Yeah, I think that's what's super enticing to get, this year's Josh Allen. Try to find that, next elite quarterback, which I think most people think, Herbert might be one, or Lamar Jackson, I guess another one. And then I guess same with tight end. Like, people are, kind of over Kelce and Andrews. They want to find that next Kelce and Andrews, which they think they can get much later. But I think in a 10-team, personally for me, I think you can get an advantage by taking an early quarterback, an early tight end, depending on what falls to you. If values fall to you at running back and receiver and you're able to capitalize on that, you can build, a league-winning team with that strategy. But it's a big risk. You're taking on those other positions kind of falling, and you're getting values there, or maybe hitting on waiver wire or league winners in your draft later on. But definitely the most risky strategy in my eyes.
Yeah, I think my thinking is, instead of taking a tight end or quarterback, I can add depth to, in my eyes, the 2 most important positions, running back and wide receiver. I'll hammer that into the day. Build depth. There's a lot of injuries in those 2. There's league winners all over the place, so that's kind of my theory on things. Just hammer wide receiver, running back.
I guess that's the other side of the argument is, receiver and running back are the most important positions. Like quarterback and tight end, you only start one in our home league. So, why not just wait? You can always get a Tom Brady or a Rodgers or a, Derek Carr later on. And then even a later tight end. And the rest of your team will be strong. You'll have good depth pieces on your bench. Because we all know those injuries are bound to happen at those running back and receiver spots. So, different looks for different hooks, man.
Different strokes for different folks, man.
Yeah.
But let's get to the main attraction, man. This is the 100th episode. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill, forget what you heard. This is 100.
Yeah, dip your toes in, baby.
So let's get it started, man. Let's dip into how the draft went.
Sure. I guess first off, I had the 6th pick in this draft, and I think Aaron had the 2nd.
Yes, sir.
That's just for us too. It's a half-point PPR. I think the first round went as it should have gone. I think. I know for me, I was hoping maybe Jefferson would fall at 6. or mainly Jefferson. I think closer to the draft, I was hoping Eckler would fall to 6, but then I could kind of talk myself out of that.
Well, yeah, let's go through the first round and then we can talk about scenarios and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Sure.
All right. So the first overall pick was Jonathan Taylor. Second pick, which was me, I took Christian McCaffrey, run CMC.
Got to.
Third pick, Austin Eckler. Fourth pick, Cooper Kupp. Fifth pick, Justin Jefferson. Sixth pick, Dalvin Cook. Seventh pick, Derrick Henry. Eighth pick, Jamar Chase. Ninth pick, Najee Harris. And 10th pick, Stephon Diggs. And you mentioned it, there wasn't really any surprises.
No.
It was pretty straightforward. You know, I wasn't really going into the draft. I was really curious on where the Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson would land. Sometimes 3, 4, 4 and 5 is pretty. That's where their ADP pretty much is, isn't it?
Yep.
So yeah, I guess it kind of went chalk in the first round, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think maybe you could argue Joe Mixon over Diggs. I guess if you wanted to take a running back early, but I don't think I think it's just fine. Like if you were gonna take a receiver, it's Diggs, and to get him at 10, I think Diggs is gonna be a fantastic receiver. Yeah,
I like Diggs a lot this year. There's nothing getting Derrick Henry at 7.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? It's pretty good value.
Yeah, it's probably the best value. I think if we see, a healthy Derrick Henry, he's still getting 25 carries a game. I'm worried about Tennessee's offense and their offensive line. I am worried about that. But I think to get, Derrick Henry at pick 7, if he's healthy, he's a guy that was averaging 24 fantasy points per game last year before his injury. And, healthy, he's easily, a top 3 pick in fantasy. So I think getting him at 7 is good. I think a lot of people would say that's a good value.
Yeah, I agree. Shall we move on to the second round?
Yeah.
All right. For the 11th pick went Alvin Kamara. 12th pick, Joe Mixon. 13th pick, Aaron Jones. 14th pick, DeAndre Swift. 15th pick, Saquon Barkley. 16th pick, Travis Kelce. 17th pick, Leonard Fournette. 18th pick, Devontae Adams. 19th pick, Javonte Williams. And the 20th pick, Nick Chubb.
Yeah, so pretty similar to the first round in terms of kind of being chalk. I think Kamara, the first pick of the second round, is a good pick. Joe Mixon at the second pick in the second round is very good. It's funny, the same team, in my opinion, that got the best value in the first round with Derrick Henry got the best value in the second round with DeAndre Swift at this 4th pick in the second round.
Yeah, you're a big Swift guy. It went right before you.
Yeah, I was hurt.
Yeah, I saw it in your face.
But I also knew it would be a miracle if Swift made it back to me.
Right. Yeah, you have to go in with those expectations that, he's a pretty popular guy and a great player. So Luke ended up with Saquon Barkley. I ended up with Javonte Williams.
Okay, yeah. Yes, sir.
I look at Javonte and I close my eyes and I just see, man, the roof is the ceiling with that kid, man. The sky is the limit. He's so hot and cold in terms of the fantasy community. But I just took, I was going upside in the draft. But as far as the other picks go, I love the Kamara pick. What he can be, getting him in the second round, that's a great pick. Joe Mixon, that was another nice pick. Basically, all good picks, nothing to really write home about. Nick Chubb, last pick of the second round. What do you think about that?
A little early. I understand. I think him getting Jonathan Taylor in the first round with his first pick and then kind of doubling down with Nick Chubb is nice because I think they're both super high floors. I think they're both, 12, 15 is their floor fantasy points per week. But then they also have those big, blow-up games where both of them can both get, 25 fantasy points in 1 week together. So I think the combination there makes sense to me. I think taking Nick Chubb there is a little early, but if you look at it, I mean, you're not going to take Zeke or James Conner or, someone else like that. I'm fine with Nick Chubb there, to be honest. Might be a little early, but if you're going to take running back, he's the running back. I think Devontae Adams, according to ADP, he was the 12th overall, and he went at the 2-8, which is 18th overall. So according to ADP, he's a value, which I think, is definitely a value pick. I'm just a little bit concerned about Adams in Las Vegas. What do you think about him in Vegas? Does that warrant? Does the risk of Devontae Adams warrant the 2.08 pick?
Personally, I think so. There's a lot of unknown. I know he's with his college, reunited with his college quarterback. New situation, new coaching staff. More targets to go around with like Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. I have confidence in Devontae Adams, but it's not a sure thing for me. It's there's a little bit of unknown there, and that's something that kind of troubled me. But if he would have felt to me, I would have taken him.
I think another surprising thing to me in the first 2 rounds is that only 5 receivers were taken in the first 2 rounds. And, in our mocks and, according to a lot of ADPs on Yahoo and Sleeper, they had, 5, 6. CeeDee Lamb is a second rounder, sometimes Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans. But, our league kind of stayed on brand of just, hammering running backs the first 2 rounds. You'll see Kelsey go and you'll see those top 5 receivers, but no one didn't reach for a Hill or an Evans. I was very surprised with the first 2 rounds at the amount of running backs that went, because like you were telling me before, like this is a receiver league. We've never been used to seeing, a Kupp and Jefferson and Jamar Chase all be first-round picks. It's never really been a thing. It was always just Adams and Hopkins, at the back half of the first. But these guys, in a lot of mocks, all those guys were first-round picks. So it was just very. I was happy to see the way the first 2 rounds went.
I appreciate it. Looking back, I think it's the best strategy to go 2 running backs, but it also disappointed me. I did so many mocks, and I was getting Christian McCaffrey, and Leonard Fournette was falling to me.
Yeah.
And I was getting Javonte Williams on the way back in the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't fall that way, and it never does. And I just appreciate the league for, hammering home, the running back, man. It was it threw a wrench in my plan, but it all worked out for the best.
Yeah, I was honestly, I considered Leonard Fournette over Saquon at the 5th pick in the 2nd round. I know Kelsey was there for me too, but I don't know.
You were telling me you might take Kelsey.
I thought about it, but in my heart it was like I'm not gonna do Kelsey again. I wanna get when I noticed Saquon was there after Swift, I was like, I gotta get Saquon. I've never had Saquon in our home league. I think his potential is high. A lot of people counting him out, which is why I was able to get him in the 5th pick of the 2nd round. But I still believe in Saquon. If he's healthy, he's the most talented back in the NFL. I know the Giants won't be able to score a lot. It could be a wasted pick. I understand that. But fantasy is all about upside, as to why I took Barkley at number 5 in the 2nd round.
Yeah, there's some good 1-2 punches for the running backs, to start off this draft. Like, for example, you have Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I love that. I really love that combo. What's it? Dead Bob's Cafe. Yeah. I really love Mixon and Najee. I think that's a very good 1-2 duo.
I agree.
Let's see, who else?
Derrick Henry and DeAndre Swift is amazing. I love that.
That's a good duo. I
You,
guess-
McCaffrey and Javante,
Yeah.
that was yours. Can you speak on your two running backs?
Yeah, I'd like to speak on them. With the first pick, in the fantasy community, Christian McCaffrey is a very hot and cold. You either don't trust him or, you trust him a lot. But I just feel like, man, if he's healthy and he's playing, he is an RB1 written all over him. He's worth the risk to me. If he's playing, he's a league winner, and like he'll flat out win a week for you. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of players you can draft. That's why he warranted the second pick for me, and I think I feel very comfortable and very excited to have Christian McCaffrey. First time he's been on one of my teams, so I look forward to it. On the in the second round with Javonte Williams, this is unbiased. Being a Broncos fan, but Javonte putting up the numbers with the 50-50 split with Melvin Gordon last year still had phenomenal numbers. I think even a little boost in that, maybe 60-40 carry split. I think he's a very good receiver too, underrated receiving back. A better offense. They're going to likely score a lot more touchdowns. And I just think the sky, like I said before, the sky is the limit for Javonte. Melvin Gordon spoke and said, even the coaching staff is, wants him to be the guy. But the offensive coordinator also said there's a pitch count. There's just so many variables floating out around there. But for me, I guess I threw caution to the wind. I'm not playing it safe anymore. I'm playing to win the league. So I took Javonte Williams.
Yeah, like I said, if you're going to take a running back, it's Javonte with the upside in that offense. He should be going to be pretty darn good, man. Can I ask you, who were your favorite picks for the first two rounds and your least favorite per team?
I really like the Dalvin Cook and the Cook and Barkley.
Okay.
I'm really gung ho on Barkley, and I'm really gung ho on Cook. I think the talent's there. The usage will be there. There's not much going on behind them. So I love that, and I also really love the Najee Harris, Joe Mixon for the same reasons.
Right,
Those guys are the workhorses. There's no question. Like for Javonte's, there's questions floating out there, but for those two, I really liked those. And I love running backs at heart. The first two picks is running backs, so that's why I picked that. I guess I don't really.
You wouldn't like the Jefferson Travis Kelce start, I don't think.
Yeah, but that's just personal. I think those are two great players.
Yeah.
That's why I can't really say what I think everyone had really good first two picks. Maybe the Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it at all. I just,
I think the one that I don't love is Aaron Jones over Swift and Barkley, and potentially Leonard Fournette, to be honest. I understand it. I love Aaron Jones. I had him last year. I think he's a stud. But I think you got to take the upside with Swift and even Barkley over Aaron Jones, because I think everyone knows at this point, like A.J. Dillon will be a thorn in the side of Aaron Jones. I think that's well known at this point. And, we saw what Swift was able to do last year as a receiver. Detroit's getting better. They have one of the best offensive lines. And then you just bank on the talent of Barkley, I think, over Aaron Jones. But what do you think about that?
I think the key word here is upside.
Yeah.
I think that's really important in fantasy. I think the past is the past. We're looking at a new year, and you want to hit on that goal. You want to strike oil, man. You want to strike gold with your picks, so you can have the safe play kind of guy that will, he'll put up good numbers, but is he gonna, win you the league? I think that's important in the first two rounds. You don't want a cap potential, and I kind of see that with Nick Chubb, for example, he doesn't catch passes. He has Kareem Hunt. He'll get his usage and everything and put up great numbers. He's the best running back in the league, in my opinion. But his upside to me is capped. You know what I mean? It's upside.
Would you say that the same is for Aaron Jones, or is his not as capped because of his receiving ability?
That is a great question. I don't understand why people are so, fire and pitchforks when Javonte Williams has a split with Melvin Gordon, who's a 29-year-old veteran that's coming back on the minimum. But Aaron Jones is a must-have league winner when A.J. Dillon is right there 50-50, and they want to give him more 1A, 1A. Like, I don't understand it, but I think Aaron Jones is a great pick and everything. I just don't understand why, the situations are pretty similar, and they're both talented running backs. I just don't understand the whole thing, and I think Aaron Jones will be good. But yes, to answer your question, I think A.J. Dillon does cap his potential.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Yahoo's ADP has Aaron Jones at 13, Nick Chubb at 14, and then Swift and Barkley at 17 and 18, even Kamara at 19. I think, maybe those were ADP picks, just looking at Yahoo's ADP and, taking the best running back there. But, I mean, shoot, dude, you can't really rely on those ADPs all the time. You got to figure out which guys can, get me over the top.
Those ADPs will play with your mind.
They will.
For sure. You'll be like, oh, but, his ADP's this, Sometimes you got to throw the numbers out the window and go with your heart.
Yeah, I agree with that. But let's move on to the third round.
Let's do it. The first pick of the third round, James Conner. Second pick of the third round, CeeDee Lamb. Third pick of the third round, Tyreek Hill. Fourth pick of the third round, Ezekiel Elliott. Fifth pick of the third round, Mike Evans. Sixth pick of the third round, Mark Andrews. Seventh pick of the third round, A.J. Brown. Eighth pick of the third round, Deebo Samuel. Ninth pick of the third round, Keenan Allen. And the 10th pick of the third round, Josh Allen. First quarterback off the board.
Yeah, to me, I think the best value here is CeeDee Lamb.
Thank you. To be honest with you, I was not expecting it. I was, at this point in the draft, I was kind of, shaking in my britches.
Mm-hmm.
My plan had been, screwed up.
Torn apart.
Thankfully, CeeDee Lamb was there, and I took advantage because I think he was going to be a stud. The number one in a high-powered offense with a good quarterback. Very talented receiver as well. I thank my stars that CeeDee fell to me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge, lover of CeeDee Lamb, the receiver, but I think round 3, the second pick, Devontae Adams off the board. I think most leagues, I think CeeDee Lamb is like a mid-second, late second round pick, but for him to be here in the second pick of the third, I mean, it's almost you have to. Just looking at the receivers that come off after him, like Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans, like I think for sure you take the chance on CeeDee Lamb over those guys because of the opportunity and the talent. No Gallup for the first probably 3 weeks. He's going to explode. Amari Cooper's gone. Only, rookie Jalen Tolbert. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's just set up to be a top 6 wide receiver in fantasy, and to get him in round 3, knowing the only receiver in the second round was Devontae Adams, which I think CeeDee Lamb can be as valuable potentially, and to get him in the third, I think is a great spot.
Yeah, his upside, back to that word, is it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, his ADP on Yahoo was 16th, and you got him at what?
22.
22. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was thankful for that. The person in front of me took James Conner, which
that's a bit early. I'll be honest.
It's a bit early, but I think he had a plan in mind and he executed it. So I appreciate it, and I think James Conner. I mean, his usage in that offense, his scoring touchdowns, is very valuable, and
I mean, speaking of guys, like you said with Javonte, people being, hot or cold on him, I think James Conner's another one of those guys in that category.
With James Conner, it's like you're really hot or you're really cold.
Right.
There's not a lot of in between. Like, yeah, he's all right. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't like him. I'm not touching him. Or, yeah, he's a must-have. Third round, book it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
But his strategy, I mean, he went Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, and James Conner.
Yeah, he executed his game plan. Was like get in there, get the running backs.
Yep.
And then
worry about everything else.
And I respect that.
Me
I
too.
like that. I wanted to talk to you about the Mark Andrews pick
All right.
at 26. What was your mindset? Did you go in thinking if Mark Andrews drops to me, must have, gonna draft, or did you have other things going on in your head?
Well, yeah. Well, we kind of talked this through. I think I was talking out loud because we drafted in the same room together, kind of discussing what we're doing. I kept mentioning, like, if Mark Andrews is here, I'm going to take him. I mean, for Mark Andrews, I know Tyreek Hill was picked. Mike Evans was gone. I think those two guys I probably would have considered. But the ultimate debate for me was A.J. Brown or Mark Andrews. I knew if I'm taking Andrews here, A.J. Brown will not be there in the fourth. And, I mean, for me, I know Mark Andrews was a baller last year. I think he was the number one tight end. I knew I already had two, elite running backs, in my opinion, and Dalvin Cook and Barkley. And if I can get Mark Andrews, I have that tight end set. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I can just wait on quarterback and then just pick up, receiver, and just play the board like that. But being able to get, Mark Andrews in the middle of the third, maybe it's not the best value because I had Mark Andrews 28th and I got him at 26, which maybe a little bit of a reach. But I just think getting that competitive edge at tight end, like I have previously with Kelsey, gives you that extra 5-6 points in a weekly matchup. And if I can just build a solid team around that, I can get that little edge, which is ultimately why I took Mark Andrews over A.J. Brown, because I knew that one of those, T. Higgins, Pittman, Mike Williams would fall back to me.
I just wanted to point out, with the third pick and the 23rd pick, which was right after me, after I took CeeDee Lamb, Sasquatchers took Tyreek Hill. And I think I have a lot of respect for that pick, having, Mike Evans on the board, A.J. Brown, and Deebo Samuel, because I think Tyreek Hill has that upside in that Miami offense, and him being who he is, the cheetah, I think, he can have a fabulous year. And I like the pick in terms of the upside of it. We kind of know year in and year out what we're getting from Mike Evans,
Yeah, but Mike Evans is going to get you what you want.
What you need.
He's going to get you what you need. I would understand, Chris Godwin's coming back. He'll be back week 2, week 3. They added Julio. They added Russell Gage. Maybe that does bring down Mike Evans a little bit. I understand, Deebo Samuel too, I guess would be the other guy that you would consider. But, we don't know what we're going to get out of Trey Lance.
I'll be honest with you guys right now. I ain't considering Deebo. I wasn't. I haven't drafted him in one league.
No, but I know. But that's someone you do consider there, though.
Yeah, I mean that he would be considered.
Yeah.
But just me personally, I just don't. I don't. I don't play that game.
Yeah, but I think ultimately Tyreek Hill is the pick. I think he's just fine.
I appreciate that pick for what he can. I like the upside of it.
Yeah.
His potential. We saw in the last preseason game, the 50-yard bomb.
Yeah.
If we see that every game, and he had another catch for 12 yards or whatever,
yeah,
it could be a match made in heaven, and you got him in the third round rather than maybe just succumbing to the beauty of Mike Evans, the beauty of Deebo Samuel, that kind of thing. I just appreciate that pick by Sasquatchers.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, the upside especially. And I think for Tyreek Hill, I know, Tua, it kind of sours people, but the name alone, Tyreek Hill, in a typical league would probably cause someone to reach for him in like the late second, just because of the name. Oh, Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, got it. That's a big name. But to get him at 3-3 in this offense, Mike McDaniel, this could be Tyreek Hill's career high in receptions. He could break that 105, 100. He could get up to 115 catches in this offense. So I love it as well. I really do. It's a good pick.
And then right after Tyreek Hill was Zeke. I know you're kind of down on Zeke, would you say?
Yeah, I didn't like this pick.
Ooh. Oh, why not? You think he's slowing down? He's got too much tread on the tire?
Well, look, ADP had him at 27, so I guess a little bit of a reach for considering ADPs. But for me, I don't know. Would I rather take a chance on Travis Etienne? Wait for him maybe in the 4th round? I think I'd rather do that.
The potential again.
Because I don't necessarily don't like Zeke. I just don't like that he went early in the 3rd round over guys like Andrews or Evans or A.J. Brown or Debo.
Right.
I can take one of those guys knowing what I'm gonna get out of them. But with Zeke, historically he's been the guy, 20+ carries, Dallas offense. But there's just a lot riding on him. Being able to hold his own at this draft spot. Injury last year. Offensive line's banged up. Tony Pollard. So it's just like there's a lot of risk in taking him in the 3rd round this early when I could have taken, Mike Evans, Debo. I know what I'm going to get out of them, and then come back and take the upside in Travis Etienne or someone like that.
Right, yeah. And, the A.J. Brown pick and the Debo, they went, 27, 28. I think it's, I like the thought behind it. With the new team.
You got to.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. But let's go to the opposite side of the spectrum, the safest wide receiver pick money can buy. And Keenan Allen, going 29. He's going to be in one of the best offenses. We know what he's going to do, man. Mr. Reliable, Old Faithful, Keenan Allen. Is his ceiling as high as it was in previous years with the emergence of Mike Williams?
Is it as high? No. His ceiling's not as high, but...
Is his floor higher?
I think Keenan Allen's floor has always been the reason why he's been such a, high draft pick. Is just
Mr. Clean with
Mr.
no
Clean,
hair.
90 catches, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Get out of there, safe and just in that offense, you just want a piece of that.
Yeah,
Los Angeles Chargers offense.
I think that's what ultimately makes you want Keenan Allen. Is like, Mike Williams there, Keenan Allen's been Mr. Reliable, and it's just having a piece of Justin Herbert. And the Chargers is like, honestly, Keenan Allen's his number 1 target, his go-to 3rd down guy. Yeah, he's going to get you 100 catches. He's going to get you over 1,000 yards. It's just the touchdowns is what limits him in terms of capping his upside is the touchdowns.
Right. That's always kind of been his Achilles heel. Except for that one year, I think he had 10.
I think
some years
he only
ago.
had one season over 8 touchdowns in his whole career.
Yeah, I had him that year.
But it's mainly, 6, 7, 5.
Yeah, he's not putting up goose eggs or nothing. He'll get you a few.
I think that's
and
what
those weeks you're gonna win.
And I think that's what also makes him valuable, even in half PPR, is like he can get you that 9, 10 catch game pretty easily and put up those yards. But like you said, if we're talking about his upside, it's just a matter of can he get 8, 9, 10 touchdowns, which he easily could in this offense this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the biggest surprise of this round, if you ask me, Josh Allen.
Really?
The 10th pick of the 3rd round. We knew it was going to come. I just didn't know when, so I guess maybe that's why it's a surprise. I knew Josh Allen would be the first quarterback drafted. I just didn't know when. And the 3-10.
It's early.
It's early, but is it too early? I don't think. I'm not really sure. It might be a great pick.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
I think taking QB early has always been kind of a, maybe not the best way
It's a little taboo on this podcast.
And I think, his ADP on Yahoo is 20th overall. I don't know if you would ever guess that, but
I would not have.
going 30th overall here. The reason I'm okay with it is because Zach Milson is the team name. He has the first pick in the 4th round, so he has 2 picks in a row. So he was able to get Josh Allen and then have the pick of the litter with his next pick, whether he wanted to go running back, receiver, or tight end. So I think it's less of a gamble. I think it's a better pick knowing that he'll have a pick after Josh Allen to make up for the deficit of the other positions by taking a QB early.
Right, yeah, I don't, by no means do I hate the pick. I'm just saying it caught me by surprise, not in a bad way. I was just waiting for that. When is this, there's always that outlier, like here's the first quarterback,
Right.
And that's when we're knee deep in this thing. There's no turning back now,
Exactly.
Let's go to round 4. The first pick in the 4th round was Josh Jacobs. Second pick in the 4th round was Eli Mitchell. Third pick in the 4th round, Kyle Pitts. 4th pick in the 4th round, David Montgomery. 5th pick in the 4th round, Michael Pittman Jr. 6th pick in the 4th round, Travis Etienne Jr. 7th pick
Junior.
in the 4th round, Terry McLaurin. 8th pick in the 4th round, T. Higgins. 9th pick in the 4th round, Mike Williams. And the 10th pick in the 4th round, Jerry Jeudy. There's a number of picks here that we can, dissect a little bit.
This round really made me sigh. This was not a great round overall. There was a 2-3 picks I didn't love in this one.
Yeah, we started so strong. I was like, these people are knocking it out.
Yes.
Very worried. I'm gonna have to really be on my P's and Q's.
Yep.
But there, things happen. Distractions, things like that. Maybe.
It gets more difficult after those first 3 rounds, and then you're looking at a whole bunch of players.
It's wide open.
You're
at
not
that
sure,
point.
yeah, which guy's situation's good or bad. So many names to pick from. I want to start off with something good though. I think the best value in this round is T. Higgins at the 8th pick in the 4th round. Incredible.
Sasquatchers, shout out.
Good pick, man.
Yeah, because I was salivating because I had, I was looking forward to having T. Higgins, and he was grabbed right out of my mitts.
Yeah, that would have been a huge value. I have T. Higgins 27th overall, which is
Getting him at
getting him in the 8th pick in the 4th round is like, dang, man. Guys like Terry McLaurin over him. I took Pittman over T. Higgins. At the time, it felt really good, but it could be a mistake because I believe T. Higgins is.
You have them neck and neck, and I do too. That was always a controversial pick to me. Is like when Pittman and T. Higgins were there, it was like, which one do I pick?
Yeah.
I think I leaned T. Higgins, but I'm not mad at the Pittman pick at all. I actually really like it. And I've heard that he's eating breakfast with Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I've been watching clips of them like mic'd up on practice. Like Matt Ryan's literally like his dad, and Michael Pittman's his son. He's just like teaching him. He's like, I'm gonna throw the ball here. Like you adjust your body while the ball's in the air, and all these different. It's pretty crazy the knowledge that Matt Ryan has.
Yeah, they put him everywhere. It's like he's like the do it all. He's like the DeAndre Hopkins for this offense.
Yeah,
like
that's a perfect
inside outside
screens.
Whatever you need, he's gonna do, and that's something you want on your team. So I can see how that put him over the top for T. Higgins. Over T. Higgins.
It's the whole Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow connection. But the offense, obviously, you want Cincinnati's offense. But I just think Pittman is in store for that next jump is what I ultimately took him over T. Higgins. And I think Pittman also has that dog in him. I know T. Higgins does, but I think Pittman has a dog in him too.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know why Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery were picked in the 4th round. What do you have to say about that?
Confusion with Josh Jacobs, but it's murky. That situation is murky. I know they really like Zamir White. Josh McDaniels likes committees. He played the first preseason game. There's just a lot of weird stuff. Like, I don't know what to think about Josh Jacobs, what his workload's going to be. They haven't said anything. I mean, I know in every mock he's been falling far, far, far. I felt uncomfortable with him. He was someone I was kind of avoiding. David Montgomery, on the other hand, I'm okay with. We know he's going to be the workhorse. He's going to get the carries. He's going to get the receptions. In a bad offense, of course. But I think many people are more down on David Montgomery than myself. I see upside there.
Can I ask you would you rather have Etienne or Montgomery?
Shoot. I'd probably go. Yeah, I'd probably take Etienne.
Yeah, that's the pick.
I mean, the upside is crazy with him. His player profile, being with his college quarterback, Doug Peterson, everything about it I like.
Like, I understand, like, what do they call it? The running back dead zone? Like, the 4th round through, like, the 6th is like, oh, you got to hammer receiver, running back's thin. But if you take receiver early and you're looking for running back in the 4th round, like, yeah, you're going to end up taking Jacobs, Montgomery, guys like that. But to me, there's not a lot of value in those picks. Like, yeah, even if they are good, they're going to have to be top 12, top 15 running backs. They're going to have to be top 12, top 15 running backs to be able to get value from them in the 4th round. Even Eli Mitchell, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I was about to ask you. You grazed over that one.
Yeah, I missed him. I saw Pitts.
He's in that same kind of scratch your head pick there.
I think, yeah, he's similar to Josh Jacobs to me. I would take Montgomery over those two, I think, over Jacobs and Mitchell.
I would agree with that.
And obviously Etienne, but Eli Mitchell isn't as bad as a pick as Jacobs, I don't think. Jacobs could fall into like 12, 14 touchdowns. I think if he were to do it would be his touchdowns. But like Eli running behind that offensive line, they're going to run the ball a ton with Trey Lance. Like, yeah, he could pay off. It's just a matter of, is Shanahan going to run Eli Mitchell, and is Mitchell able to stay healthy for more than 15 games?
Yeah, Mitchell's just... Like, I picked him a couple times in the 5th round. It's just his, he's capped with the lack of receiving.
Yeah.
We don't know what the committee's like, and, if they're going to give, what's his name? Jeff Wilson?
Jeff Wilson, yeah.
Jeff Wilson and that rookie.
Davis Price.
Yeah, like, what does it look like? Elijah has injury history. There's just a lot of question marks.
Trey Lance stealing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a great point. I actually think I would take Josh Jacobs over Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, I would maybe.
Because what if he is the guy again?
He will be, but they're gonna rotate. My biggest concern with Jacobs is Zamir White. I think Zamir White's an actual threat.
They love him. I think a report came out that like this coaching staff is like falling head over heels for Zamir White.
I think people have forgotten Zamir White. He was a number 1 high school recruit going to Georgia. And he was a freak at Georgia until he injured both of his knees. But he's healthy and he is a top recruit out of high school. Like, he is a dog. He's good at football. And they have no ties to Josh Jacobs. It's a whole new regime. They didn't pick up his 5th year. Like, yeah, he's going to play. He could potentially score 10, 12 touchdowns, but he's not going to be a 3-down workhorse. Like, he's going to be rotated. So to warrant a 4th-round pick, no thanks. I like Eli Mitchell, more of a 5th, 6th-rounder. David Montgomery runs with concrete boots. He may catch some passes. The offense stinks, but give me Travis Etienne over those guys. I'd even consider Cam Akers over them.
But I get the picks. Like, I can go through the thought process of, I need a running back. It's just the dead zone's the dead zone, man. It's hard to, like...
Get value.
Yeah, get value in those spots. But I definitely understand the want and need for running back.
Right, it's just a bad spot.
Right, I would agree. One we're glancing over, Kyle Pitts, man.
Yeah.
4th round. Man, talk about...
high riser.
Upside. I've been hearing people, doubt Mariota, but he's produced top 5 years with Delanie Walker. I think people forget that in Tennessee.
I'm worried about him a little bit.
But, Kyle Pitts isn't Delanie Walker. He's
He's more of a
better,
receiver.
and yeah, he's a receiver, man. Let's be honest with you.
I'm not worried about Mariota. I just don't see. It's not a quarterback upgrade. They go from Matt Ryan to Mariota. Like, yeah, Mariota has done good with Delaney Walker, but you can't make the argument that he has a better quarterback than he did last year.
No, you can't, but you can make the argument that he might hyper target Kyle Pitts.
He'll
Not
yeah.
having the hyper target him because he can trust him, and he's not as talented as Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan could survey the field,
find someone else.
go to 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota might just lock in and literally throw the ball to Kyle Pitts the majority of the time. And
Yeah.
that's something. I mean, for fantasy, that's something you look for.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. If I didn't take Andrews, I was 100% praying that Pitts fall to me in the 4th round. But he went 2 picks before, so thankfully I didn't mess up. But Kyle Pitts scored 1 touchdown last year. He's bound to score more than that, and he's a smash in the 4th round. So yeah.
What do you think about Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, very interested.
Do I like? I don't like it that much. I like T. Higgins. I like Mike Williams. I like DJ Moore. I like Cortland Sutton more than them. But even Allen Robinson probably over Terry McLaurin.
Just because of the quarterback?
The offense, the quarterback.
I was very mystified by Terry McLaurin. We know the talent, just the QB upgrade, right?
Yeah, it's a slight upgrade, but they also added target competition.
Jahan?
Dotson, Curtis Samuel's healthy. He looks good. He was targeted a lot in preseason. So, I mean, yeah, he's going to be good, but his upside is still capped. I don't think, like, the best, we're not going to get a top 5 season out of Terry McLaurin. We're not going to, his ceiling is like top 12. He slides into 11 or 12, in my opinion.
That's ceiling, for sure. I would say that's his ceiling.
Unfortunately, because I do think he's a top 10 receiver talent, but it's like not until we can get that next level guy.
Let's talk about one of our favorite players, me and you both, Mike Williams.
Yep.
Big Mike. Once again, we're gonna, I wanted a piece of that Chargers offense. Mike broke out last year, got paid. He's a red zone target. He's a deep, 50-50 ball kind of guy. A wide receiver match made in heaven for Justin Herbert is Mike Williams. Big arm. He's able to go up and get it. Big target. I expect, great things from Mike Williams this year. So, we just both really, 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 really loved Mike Williams going into this draft.
Yeah, I think being able to get Mike Williams at the 9th pick in the 4th round is about as good as you can get, about as good as you can ask for. I know his ADP is lower. I think he's 43rd overall, which is, that's fine with me. I have him 29th overall. So if Michael Pittman wasn't there, I'm taking him. I actually have him 1 spot behind Mark Andrews. That's how much I really like Michael Pittman. We talked about it. We were hoping, one of us would end up with Mike Williams. And luckily you did, man, because there's nothing but upside with Mike Williams compared to McLaurin. I think T. Higgins is like that too. They're very similar in the sense that, I guess number 2 on 2 of the best offenses, but have that, crazy upside potential in those offense.
Yeah, and the first major head scratcher for me was Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Going over Cortland Sutton.
DJ Moore.
Allen
Robinson.
From the reports from camp is that, Cortland is Russ's guy. He's going to be the big play guy. And Jerry's going to kind of play that number 2 role. But he was taken, the 10th pick in the 4th round. It was a little shocking, but, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that, maybe he's the alpha. It's just hard for me to see that, honestly. With Russell Wilson, with his rapport with DK, you basically a big body wide receiver in Cortland. He's that's Russ. Those are Russ's guys. You know what I mean?
I think it makes it even more risky just because we haven't seen Jerry Jeudy do it.
He's never done it
at the NFL level, and like he's dealt with injuries, a whole new regime, new quarterback, and like Cortland Sutton has always been like last year Jerry Jeudy was kind of Teddy Bridgewater's go-to, which isn't saying much. It's probably not much, but Cortland before that with Joe Flacco and Case Keenum, like he was hitting 1,000 yards.
Drew Lock
did it too. And like Jerry still has a lot to prove. He has to prove himself in the NFL. He has yet to do that. And in my opinion, he's got weak hands. He's got weak feet.
Hey, come on, man.
And we'll just have to see. He could be.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is there upside there?
There is, but not with the 10th pick in the 4th round. He literally went one spot after Mike Williams. Can we compare those upsides?
I don't think they're in the same.
Can we compare DJ Moore went one pick after him? Can we compare their upsides?
Maybe.
No, there's 0% chance.
Well, he snagged DJ Moore in the next pick.
I know, but I'm just saying. I don't know. It's an interesting pick. Maybe he knows something we don't. It's too early.
Yeah, let's go to the 5th round. First pick in the 5th round, DJ Moore. Second pick in the 5th round, A.J. Dillon. Third pick in the 5th round, Cam Akers. Fourth pick in the 5th round, George Kittle. Fifth pick in the 5th round, Justin Herbert. Sixth pick in the 5th round, Cortland Sutton. Seventh pick in the 5th round, Patrick Mahomes. Eighth pick in the 5th round, Allen Robinson. Ninth pick in the 5th round, Jalen Waddle. And 10th pick in the 5th round, Brandon Cooks. And it looks like Dead Bob's Cafe had the 8th and 9th pick in the 5th round because of trade from last year.
So he was able to acquire 2 5th-round picks.
Which is very nice.
Which is huge. That automatically gives you that upper hand. Salute, though. I love Allen Robinson. I'll go ahead and say that. I think Allen Robinson was an outstanding pick. If Cortland wasn't there, I'm taking Allen Robinson. They're very close to me. If you're listening, you can go ahead and send Allen Robinson this way. And then double down, man. Double down, get Jalen Waddle. He's not too far off.
I have a problem with that pick.
Why?
I think I'd much rather have Brandon Cooks.
Much rather?
Much rather.
Really? They're close to me.
Or Michael Thomas?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
What about upside for those two rather than Jalen Waddle?
Well, maybe Cooks. I don't think I'm taking Michael Thomas.
What happened?
I think I would let someone else, or at least not in the 5th round. I think Waddle is worthy of a 5th-round pick. I don't think.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe not the 5th round.
Yeah.
I'd probably wait to the 6th or 7th.
They're close in my rankings. They're 4 spots apart, but I think Waddle, you can justify taking him right here. And like his upside to me is like what he did last year, and like maybe what if Tyreek Hill isn't as far apart from Waddle at the end of the year, because they both kind of do similar stuff. And
can Tua produce 2,000+ yard receivers with 6+ touchdowns?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I think so. How much attention is Tyreek Hill going to get? All of it.
They have some other studs there. Cedric Wilson, Mike Gesicki.
No, it's Waddle. He's dealing with injury right now, but Tyreek Hill's going to garner a lot of attention, and Waddle will be heavily targeted. Like, he can catch a similar amount of passes as Hill will.
So you would have taken Jalen Waddle there?
No, I would have taken Cooks. But I'm just saying they're right next to each other. Like, I'm fine if you wanted Waddle over Cooks.
Yeah, I guess I'm fine with it. I don't know. He's a number 2 in an offense, and I'd prefer, Brandon Cooks being that alpha, and, he's proven it year in and year out that he's a 1,000-yard receiver,
But whose offense would you rather be a part of? Miami. But like you said, he's probably the number 2 compared to Cooks. And
right.
Cooks' upside is probably higher, yeah.
Yeah, I just...
But you took upside with Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I love the Allen Robinson pick.
Yeah.
That was a great pick. I was looking to get him as well.
Great pick, yeah.
Um,
George Kittle in the 5th round. I know you don't like that.
It wouldn't be me, man.
DJ Moore at the first pick in the 5th round. I was looking for him after the draft, like looking at the draft results. I was looking 4th round, couldn't find him. I see him in the 5th round. I'm like, that's a great value, man. That's a good pick. I think DJ Moore is in store for a great year. And then you got your guy AJ Dillon. That was a must get for you, bub.
Yeah, that was going into it. I think I only had one player that I had to get, and it was AJ Dillon. Some say it's a reach, but I knew he wasn't going to get back to me. I had to pull the trigger. I feel good about it. I like the potential of AJ Dillon in that backfield and that offense this year. A lot. I want all stocks of AJ Dillon. I want every piece of him, each quad, put it on my plate. I'm gonna have a feast.
Very good, man. I'm happy you got AJ Dillon.
Thank you.
We saw 2 quarterbacks go. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes with the 5th and 7th pick in the 5th round. I mean, if you want those guys, man, you got to go get them. And, those are 2 heavy hitters for sure.
Cam Akers.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that pick?
I think he's a 5th round pick. I think I'm fine with this. I know he's probably going to be a headache for guys who have Cam Akers. I have him in another league. And I already know he's going to be a headache all year with injuries and Darrell Henderson and, them being on the market for Kareem Hunt or Alexander Madison. It's just all the time. It's just always something with the Rams. But I think Cam Akers, when he's healthy, I think he's better than Darrell Henderson. We saw last year when he came back from the Achilles, they just rode him. They kind of left Darrell Henderson to be the backup. I don't think they really love Darrell Henderson. Like Sean McVay, I don't think he cares for him. But I think he thinks they have something in Cam Akers when he's healthy. And Sean McVay loves to use like a workhorse when he's in there. So I think if Cam Akers is in there 100% healthy, which will be the biggest issue, is like he'll be a good pick in the 5th round because he's a guy. I think he's a good talent. He's in the Rams offense, the potential to score 10, 12 touchdowns. And all he needs to do is stay healthy, get to 1,000 yards, score 10 touchdowns, and you got yourself a really strong RB2.
Yeah, another guy that we both really liked and admired. You took him. Cortland Sutton.
I had to, bub.
Yeah, man, I love that pick, dude.
I saw you take Mike Williams. I had to get Cortland.
Oh, you wanted to go pound for pound on it?
Those were my 2 receivers that I highlighted. Them 2, Kyle Pitts, were must-gets for me.
Teriyaki.
Wasn't able to get Pitts, wasn't able to get Mike Will, so I got Sutton. I was thankful, man, because pick in front of me is a big Denver Broncos fan, Lobo Solo. I thought he was taking Cortland for sure, but I was able to get him here, man. I would have been upset. I think Cortland's in store for a big year. I think he's this year's Cooper Kupp. Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go to round 6.
Sure.
First pick in the 6th round, Michael Thomas. Second pick, J.K. Dobbins. Third pick, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Fourth pick, DK Metcalf. Fifth pick, Breece Hall. Sixth pick, Antonio Gibson. Seventh pick, Lamar Jackson. Eighth pick, Darren Waller. Ninth pick, Gabe Davis. 10th pick in the 6th round, Devin Singletary.
What do you think, man?
Well, something stands out to me. Breece Hall
Really?
in the 6th round. Hadn't seen it since the beginning of time.
Oh.
Every mock draft I was in before this draft, Breece Hall was going 4th, 5th latest. Maybe sometimes 3rd, man. I don't know. That he had a lot of hype on him.
Mm-hmm.
I never seen him drop to the 6th. Looks like you scooped him up.
Yeah, I saw him on the board. I was debating. I don't know if I love it. I understand the upside. I understand the profile of Breece Hall being, a stud. But I didn't see a whole lot out of preseason. He had a couple really good runs. But the O-line, the Jets offense hasn't looked very good as we expected.
He hasn't looked good in the preseason, Breece Hall.
He's had some good runs.
He looks like the eye test, like the way he,
Moves,
jukes and everything, he
yeah.
looks like a stallion.
Yeah.
He looks like a very nimble young man,
All right.
and I have high hopes for him. So I understand the potential of this pick. However, it's murky. They're saying Michael Carter, starter. But I believe by the end of the season, this backfield is Breece Hall's, and I think it's just hard for me to say what he's going to produce behind that line in that offense. There's a number of question marks.
Yeah, I think I was looking at it. I wasn't targeting Breece Hall this draft. I was just looking at the other players available where I was. Like, Breece Hall shouldn't have been here, probably. But just seeing, like, Antonio Gibson, Darren Waller, Devin Singletary, Deontay Johnson. Like, I don't know if I'm going to take any of those guys over Breece Hall. And to be able to have Breece Hall as my third running back, like, he's like my upside rookie running back guy, like
You can
potential.
develop him.
Let him sit if he has to, and then kind of unleash him if he gets to that point. But I see guys like Clyde Edwards-Helaire go over him, even J.K. Dobbins.
I want to talk about J.K. right quick.
All right.
They signed Kenyon Drake, and I just got a report while we were doing the podcast that he did a drill and he has a significant limp. So that's not a good sign, but I had high hopes for J.K. going into the season, even during the draft. I was like, maybe this is someone I can, bet on. And then after the draft, they signed Kenyon Drake. They always... I hate how the Ravens just go out and sign the oldest guy, has been, rather than just giving a clear path for J.K. But thoughts and prayers to J.K. Hopefully it's just minor. It's just frustrating, that backfield. It's been that way for the last 2 seasons. I hope they get it sorted out, man. I like J.K. and I think his talent is immense. So I'm not mad at the pick or anything. I think it's a bad pick. I wanted to talk about that Ravens backfield and the mystery that goes into it,
Yeah, not only that, but he's coming back from an ACL.
True.
And for me personally, I've dealt with like drafting a running back after ACL. Saquon last year, for example. Like, it's just a tough injury for running backs to come back from and get back to their normal selves. To go along with that backfield, it's very muddied. What do we expect out of J.K.? But, if you have some other running backs ahead of him and you can kind of rest him until he gets back to his form, then he'll be fine, man. I think J.K. will get back to that form in the second half of the year. He'll get a large workload. It's just a matter of when.
Would you say that Antonio Gibson is the best value in this round?
It might be, man.
But due to unforeseen circumstances?
It's definitely the most interesting pick here. Because at the time, like we said, the Brian Robinson news happened right before the draft. And what do we do? What's his timetable? And then to see Gibson go in the 6th round, after all the offseason news, you would have been like, man, that's a bad pick. Like, Gibson's returning punts. But when the news came out, now it's like, man, Gibson is a huge value in the 6th round.
Right. I mean, it's got to be the best value in this round, huh?
Yeah, 100%. Just based off, it sounds like he won't be back to November, Brian Robinson. And, Gibson's going to fill...
Where'd you hear that?
Just through the grapevine. And just to
taste some grapes.
Just to get Gibson here in the 6th round, he's going to be that workhorse, him and J.D. McKissick. He's going to get his role back, and he was a top 12 running back last year in that role. Get him in the 6th round. He lucked out. Lobo Solo, you got a good back there, man.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the Lamar Jackson somewhere in the 6th, 7th round. So I appreciate that pick.
Yes.
Shouts out Odell. No,
Yeah.
good pick there. I was actually gonna sweep on him and pick him up.
You would have?
Yeah, I was actually going to.
Okay, I like that.
That will be a common theme throughout this draft. Me waiting and sitting and like, okay, this guy's gonna make it to me, and doesn't. It's mainly quarterbacks.
I already know the other one.
Yeah, yeah, that one kind of broke my spirit, but you can't keep me down for long.
We're in the works.
Yeah, Darren Waller.
Ouch.
Very skeptical of him. Did he get paid or no?
No, I think they're working out $16 million a year right now.
Okay, so that was just a frame, a contract
He might be
framework.
dealing with injury too.
Yeah, he's a very mysterious. I don't think he's practiced in a really long time, or is he practicing again?
Like on and off. It's very strange.
Yeah, I'm not. I was very. I wanted to avoid Darren Waller, especially, where he's going.
I don't necessarily hate it.
I don't hate it.
Right
I don't
here.
Hate it. I don't hate it. Let's see. DK Metcalf,
Don't love.
Geno Smith, upgrade.
To who?
Drew Lock.
Yeah.
He zeroes in on him. Still, I don't know how that's going to look for a whole season with that offense, and I don't know. That was another situation I kind of wanted to avoid.
Yeah, DK is tough, man. He's a guy, I guess you're just betting on the talent
Yeah,
over the situation.
for sure.
Which is fine. Like, Seattle's going to be behind in some games. There's going to be those games where DK does pop off. It's just a matter of which weeks are those going to be. And with poor quarterback play comes inconsistency. It's just going to be tough dealing with that for a year, I think.
And for the final two draft picks in this round, I took Gabe Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I see, when I look at Gabe Davis, I see the upside. All the reports coming out of camp are just solidifying my feelings, how he's, not a number 2. He's going to have a significant part, especially in the red zone. He's a big body on one of the best offenses in the league. And I wanted a piece of it, man. I wanted a piece of that pie, man. I'm all about getting wide receivers on high-powered offenses, and, this could be his breakout year, man. We've been saying it for years now. I know it's only his third year, but I have high hopes for Gabe Davis.
Yeah, you took him in the 6th round. I knew that was another guy that you really wanted this year. I'm fine with you taking him there. Because like you said, I mean, the upside is tremendous. Just like the reports of him, being the 1A to 1B. He's right there with Diggs. He's going to see a lot of work this year. He's been a guy throughout the offseason that's gone, 6th round like we saw here, or you go in like the 10th, 9th or 10th, kind of fall and slip. But I think with this pick that you made, the offense, what we saw in the playoffs, just the upside that he can do. Like, we saw that he could do 4 touchdowns. We saw the big games that he can produce in this offense. And
I also get sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I also get the feeling that he's going to be one of those guys that breaks my heart.
Really?
Bust.
I don't think so.
He's got bust potential.
He does, just because of he wasn't able to play in front of Emmanuel Sanders and
The things like that, like those little small things. Yeah. He doesn't get separation.
No, not really.
So this is, you get all. I hate the hype train, and the hype train's real heavy, and sometimes you follow that hype train and you crash.
Yeah.
You crash and you burn, but I'm willing to stand on this hill and scream at the top of my lungs, Gabe Davis.
Yeah, because it's very enticing.
It's just like, even in the desert without water for 16 weeks, and you see that mirage, and you're going to get that water. It takes you a couple days to get there. You get there, and there ain't no water. But sometimes you go to God's thumb, and there's water.
That's all it takes.
And then the other Buffalo Bill is Devin Singletary with the last pick of this round.
A little early, but I understand it.
Ooh, you don't want to talk that noise about him.
I'm not sure how much upside Devin Singletary has. His floor is probably pretty good.
I think you're exactly right. I think his floor is
8 to 10 points.
Yeah, his floor is pretty safe, but as far as potential goes, I think we know who we draft for the upside.
I think he's a strong RB3 on your team. It'd be better as an RB4, but he could be like a flex RB3 guy.
There's 3 running backs there that could potentially see some work. Even Zach Moss is getting some kudos in camp, and he seems like he's like the goal line guy.
It makes sense, and I guess the potential of maybe bringing in someone out like Kareem Hunt or someone if they become available.
Yeah. Let's move on to the 7th round. 7th round. First pick, Deontay Johnson.
Wow.
2nd pick, Hollywood Brown. 3rd pick, Damian Harris. 4th pick, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 5th pick, Juju Smith, Poopster. 6th
Juju
pick,
Smoother.
Jalen Hurts.
Sorry.
7th pick, Chase Edmonds. 8th pick, Rashad Bateman. 9th pick, Brandon Ayuk. 10th pick in the 7th round, DeAndre Hopkins. We got some juicy ones in here.
This is my favorite round of the draft.
This one is very pleasant to look at.
Yeah, love it.
People were hammering. People were hammering away in this round, and I loved to see it.
Yeah, like the first 3 rounds, I was like, okay, this is sweet. This is a great draft. Then the 4 through 6 rounds, I was like, they fell off. They came back 7th round, and they brought it back, baby.
Yeah, they brought it back with a vengeance, man.
It was awesome.
Everyone had a great pick. The only one I kind of am skeptical of is Damian Harris.
Yeah, but
Yeah, understandable.
yeah, it's fine right here.
But
I wouldn't, but
yeah, I mean, I think me and you went into this draft with players we had in mind that we weren't gonna draft.
yeah, that's
that's
brainwashed.
Yeah, it's one of those things, but it could work out. From top to bottom, Deontay Johnson.
Huge value. 7-1, his ADP was 49.
Dang.
It was the shoulder news. He hurt his shoulder in preseason. Maybe that pushed people off. But, I mean, Deontay Johnson was awesome last year. If I'm not mistaken, he was top 12 in PPR. And to get him as, like, your third or fourth receiver, potentially on your bench, man, that's really good value.
What's Hollywood's?
Hollywood's ADP?
Yeah.
It was really low, remember? 77th on Yahoo.
Holy mackerel. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember doing the mocks and being like, dang, where the heck is he?
Yeah, he's real low.
I took him strictly because of the upside. He played college football with Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for the first 6 games. Kyler's really good at throwing the deep ball. Marquise has brick hands, but he'll catch some of those deep balls. They're struggling with injury right now. It's just basically opportunity and talent for me is why I took Hollywood Brown at this spot. Do I feel regret? Do I feel happy? I'd say I feel indifferent.
With the names that went after him, are those guys that you would have considered over Marquise Brown?
Yeah, Juju really intrigues me. I'm not so high on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I expect there to be some regression there with the targets and everything, with DJ Chark going in there, things like that. I just don't trust like that.
Okay.
I also, Rashad Bateman, a number 1 on the, Baltimore Ravens. Brandon Ayuk's had a fantastic camp. Yeah, I mean, I love all those receivers really, except for like I said, Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, I think you took the right guy. I would have considered him or Bateman. But
definitely did. It was between those two.
Like you said, maybe Brown has a little bit more higher ceiling just based off his big play potential, and Hopkins being out for those first 6 weeks is probably a pretty big deal for Marquise Brown. But I think Amon-Ra at that spot is a good spot. I mean, he's probably the number 1 target in Detroit. He showed down the stretch last year that he can be reliable for Jared Goff. He kind of zoned into him a lot. I think Juju, the upside being the number 1 receiver outside of Travis Kelce in Kansas City, his potential is very high. If he can get back to the previous Juju that we've seen, he could be very good.
Can I play devil's advocate for Juju?
Yeah.
Just so many weapons they, brought in, whether it be MVS, Sky Moore, things like that. I don't know. It's hard for me to just anoint Juju Smith at number 2 to Travis Kelce.
I think he's the number 2. The thing that worries me is like you said, they bring in weapons and they spread it out more.
Right.
Like, he's not going to be like a target hog. Like, MVS will see work and Sky Moore will see work. My thing is I just think Juju's better than them, and that maybe that'll garner targets just because he's the better player of the 3.
And McCole Hardman.
Yeah, he's going to be the gadget guy. But I think in terms of, seeing targets and touchdowns, like other than Kelsey, in my opinion, I think Juju's the next guy because he's more talented than the rest.
And then for you, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I had to. Man. It sucked, man, when I did it because I saw Edmonds and Bateman go after, two of my.
Those are Luke's guys.
I have to.
Luke's guys.
Yeah, I had to get those guys, but having Andrews already kind of pushed me away from Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a mistake because you just have to get best players, and just looking at Bateman right now, it just hurts that he's not on the team. But I think getting Jalen Hurts here in the 7th round, just the upside of him, his rushing ability, adding A.J. Brown, easy schedule, the potential to be the QB1. It's hard to pass up, so I did it anyway.
Yeah, man. I respect the move.
I love that 3Ms took Chase Edmonds in the round 7 because his ADP was lower. He's been rising, a lot of talks, and wasn't expecting him to go here. I thought I could maybe get away with one, but he ended up going right after Hurts, and it was an excellent pick.
Yes, it was. Good. 7th round was solid.
Yeah.
Let's go to the 8th. 8th round. First pick in the 8th round was Dameon Pierce. 2nd pick, Joe Burrow. 3rd pick, Miles Sanders. 4th pick, T.J. Hawkinson. 5th pick, Chris Godwin. 6th pick, Darnell Mooney. 7th pick, Kareem Hunt. 8th pick, Kyler Murray. 9th pick, Elijah Moore. 10th pick, Dallas Goedert.
I think this is another pretty solid round.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't see any really outliers here.
I like the receivers that were drafted here. I think there was only 3. But, like, me taking Godwin, obviously that's biased. But Darnell Mooney and Elijah Moore, I think, are great receiver picks in the 8th round.
Yeah, I like the value of Chris Godwin. If he can be what he once was in that Tampa Bay offense with Tom Brady, it's special. I mean, that's a huge value. That might be one of the biggest values in the draft.
It's a big value, but it's a big risk, I think, too. I think you can't underestimate a receiver coming back from ACL. He also tore his MCL. Like, yeah, he's back at practice, but he's still wearing a brace. He still hasn't played contact. I think there's a lot more steps to go through. So, even when he gets back on the field, like week 3, they're saying maybe week 1, but realistically, like week 2 or 3, he's still got to find his way in. He's still got to get comfortable, which could take even longer. So we'll see, man. But I don't know. I feel
and with Darnell Mooney and Elijah Moore being, I think, pretty much number 1 receivers on bad teams.
That's it.
I mean, isn't bad. The beautiful, hyped up rookie for the Texans.
What do you think about him?
This hype train is out of control, but I understand. Like, it's just, for me, like, thinking about it logically, he's on a bad team. I don't think he's going to look like I don't think he's going to set the world on fire like he did in preseason. I don't think he's going to average like 6 yards or 7 yards a carry. I think it's going to be like tough sledding, for Dameon Pierce. I mean, I just think he earned that role as the starting running back, but what does that mean at the end of the day with the Houston Texans,
Yeah, and he's not going to catch a lot of passes, I don't think. I think they kept Burkhead and Agumbawale, which are both like 3rd down guys. Like, yeah, he's going to see the bulk of the work on the ground. How many scoring opportunities is he going to get in this offense? And to me, he is similar to Rashad Penny in terms of bad offenses, don't catch passes. We'll see 20 carries a game. But the true upside is what? I mean, they can get 1,000 yards rushing. They can probably get 7 rushing touchdowns, but, a handful, 10 catches, 15 catches. Like, I don't know. I think he'll be a safe, like, flex, like a guy you'll start in your flex, maybe an RB2, but he's not going to bust the world on fire. He's not the next Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the hype train literally is nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I was looking at him.
I'd take him.
I was staring at him.
I'd take him in the 8th round.
I was licking my chops.
I'm fine with it.
Miles Sanders went, 2 picks after him. 1 pick after him. I think I heard a report today that he's not practicing still.
No, he's not.
That's always a concern with Miles Sanders' injury, man. We've never just been able to, put him on the field, put pads on him, and see what he can do for, a whole season. He has the injury bug. I wish him the best. I know he's very talented. I mean, why not take him?
I mean, this is a make or break year for him. He has to get out there on the field and play. I mean, just to show up injured all the way through camp and maybe miss week 1 is just like not a great look. And I don't know. I'm indifferent.
And Kyler Murray, someone I had my eye on. If you notice, he went 1 pick before me.
Ouch.
That one was another soul crusher because I was telling Luke, we were, discussing things. I was like, I'm taking Kyler, dude.
Yeah.
And Luke was like, oh, yeah, you got him. And I was like, yeah, I know I got him. And, right out of thin air, man. Just right out of my grasp.
Sasquatchers.
Yeah, man. Sasquatchers was sniping me left, right, and center. But I took Elijah Moore. I feel I like the potential of his second year. And we saw the talent at the end of last year. And, I just went for it, man. I shot for the moon.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Round 9, baby.
Round 9. First pick in round 9. Dak Prescott. Second pick, Ramondre Stevenson. Third pick, Tony Pollard. Fourth pick, Adam Thielen. Fifth pick, Dalton Schultz. Sixth pick, Rashad Penny. Seventh pick, Amari Cooper. Eighth pick, Dawson Knox. Ninth pick, Zach Ertz. 10th pick in the 9th round, Cordero Patterson.
That's my favorite pick of the round, I think.
Cordero?
Yeah. Getting him with the 10th pick in round 9, after seeing what he did last year, he's going to be involved again. I think it's a solid pick. I wanted him. I was targeting him in the 10th round. But for me, I think Tony Pollard was the guy I wanted in this round. He went 3 picks before me. I think it was an awesome pick. I'm a big fan of Tony Pollard, but
I took Ramondre Stevenson over Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I found that a bit interesting.
I think he has a clearer path of being that. I think, Bill Belichick has a soft spot for him because I think he was like one of the highest rated, like running backs in terms of like literally everything, blocking, receiving, all that. Just a smart player, and I think he's Bill Belichick's kind of guy. And one mistake from Damian Harris could usurp Damian Harris and become that guy in a run-first offense, run-heavy offense. And all the reports from camp is, even if he isn't the starter, he might take over the James White role, which is huge. I just see value when I look at him at every glance I take.
Yeah, I understand. He definitely has a easier path to becoming the workhorse guy. Just having to beat out Damian Harris, which sounds like Damian Harris might not even be on the team the whole year, but we'll see. You just don't have a lot of interest in Tony Pollard, I don't think.
I don't.
Yeah, which is fine.
I can't. I mean, I can tell you why. He's a backup that they say they're going to expand his role every year, but it seems like he's the same thing. There's always hype. Zeke's there. Zeke can take a pounding. He played with a torn PCL last year from week 6 on. I like Tony Pollard. I think he's good, but I also think I don't know if he can take the pounding of being a workhorse week in and week out. Ramondre is built like a bowling ball, and ready to, he can take the. I don't know. It's hard for me to see Tony Pollard, even if he does take, Zeke gets hurt, God forbid, like take that whole load onto his shoulders, his little shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine with me. All right, it's a good pick.
Thanks, Barrick.
Round 10.
Round 10. Round 10. Pick 1, Alan Lazard. 2, Christian Kirk. 3, Devontae Smith. 4, Hunter Renfrow. 5, Melvin Gordon. 6, Tyler Lockett. 7, Naeem Hines. 8, James Robinson. 9, Cole Kmet. And pick 10 of round 10, Michael Carter.
Yeah, I like a lot of guys here. I think Lazard, Christian Kirk, Hunter Renfrow are excellent round 10 picks. I was targeting all three of those guys here. I took Melvin Gordon in this round. Don't love it, but I think he's a good running back. I like the Nyheim Hines pick. And then you got your guy Cole Kmet.
Yeah, I think I probably was the last guy to take a tight end, huh?
Were you? I think you were, yeah.
Yeah, I just like the upside. It's him and Darnell Mooney, basically. I think someone got put on IR today on the Bears, actually. Who's one of their... Oh, Tajay Sharp. But yeah, I really love the first two picks, Alan Lazard and Christian Kirk. Devontae Smith's interesting. We'll have to talk about the Melvin Gordon pick. Maybe we can get some handcuff action.
You want him?
Try me.
All right, he's available.
And I really like the Nyheim Hines pick.
Yeah, it's good.
And I also want to talk about James Robinson.
Go ahead.
What do you think, man? What's the outlook? Is he playing week 1? What's going on? Is he going to cut into Travis Etienne's ceiling?
I mean, he's going to play, I think, if he's healthy. I'm not sure if he'll be there in the early weeks. I don't really care for him that much. I think it's going to be one of those situations where, like, Etienne comes in. He's super talented. He's just better. He can do more than James Robinson can. He's going to be, like, the main guy. But, like, they'll sprinkle in James Robinson, 10, 12 carries. He does his thing. They have to ease him back from an injury like that. And, he's a good late-round target. He's going to get work. It's just I expect Etienne to come in and be the main guy moving forward. Nyheim Hines is a good pick. I understand why. But Nyheim Hines is one of those players where you're not gonna know which weeks to start him, I think. Like, he's gonna have one of those weeks against Washington. He's gonna catch 6 passes. He's gonna run for a touchdown, and then the next week he's gonna have like three or four fantasy points.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's pretty volatile.
He is, but he's a good handcuff. If JT goes down in preseason, he handled a lot of work on the ground, so maybe they just throw him in. We'll see.
Round 11.
Hunter Renfrow is an amazing pick. I really wanted him. 3M's had a good draft, according to
Yahoo.
To me, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I think everyone had a pretty good draft. Round 11, pick 1, Chris Olave. Pick 2, James Cook. Pick 3, Kadarius Toney. Pick 4, Isaiah McKenzie. Pick 5, Albert O. Pick 6, Isaiah Pacheco. Pick 7, Robert Woods. Pick 8, Drake London. Pick 9, Rondale Moore. Pick 10, Pat Freiermuth.
Yes, sir.
This was an interesting round. You're just kind of looking for those diamonds in the rough. I love Olave. I love James Cook. Toney seems like he's practicing and he's almost 100%. Isaiah McKenzie was interesting. I like that. I like where his head's at. Great offense. Number 3. Lobo Solo keeps taking them tight ends like they ain't going out of style.
Was it his 4th?
I think so.
Get out of here, man.
Man, he's just stocking up, man. Leave some for the rest of us, would you?
I don't understand it.
I like the wide receivers, the dart throws. I really like Robert Woods, Drake London, Rondale Moore, Chris Olave. I just really liked the young, talented wide receivers and some people in new places like Robert Woods. Maybe seeing potentially a lot of targets. Let's talk about your pick, Isaiah Pacheco.
Sure.
Go on with it.
Round 11, throwing darts. The way I'm looking at it with Pacheco, it's a reach. Maybe I should have taken Drake London. I probably should have. That would be the only guy I'd probably really consider. But, if I'm looking at running back, the other names available, Kenneth Gainwell, Kenneth Walker, Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, they're backups. They're not playing unless someone gets hurt. I'm taking a gamble on Pacheco because he could come in and have a role from the get-go. His only competition is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who has shown he's not very good. He gets injured. And Pacheco is a shiny toy, man. He's fast. He'd be a deadly weapon in this offense. And I don't know. I just have this feeling because he's built to be a 3-down back. They can use him as a weapon. So I'm just taking the potential of him over guys like Kenneth Walker, Gainwell, Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert at this stage. And I'm happy with it, man. He was a guy I was targeting in this draft.
I was not the last person to take a tight end.
You weren't?
Nope. Zach Milfson.
Oh, he took Freiermuth?
Yeah.
Oh, salute.
So respect. I usually usually get that award, but
Chris Olave in round 11 is awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I really liked what happened in that draft.
Yeah. James Cook.
in that round. I'm sorry.
James Cook is a good pick there. I mean, he could be the next Alvin Kamara.
Like they were all smart picks, like Robert Woods. Why not?
Just good about that.
Come on, man. It's not bad for the 11th round, is it?
No, I don't hate it.
Kadarius Toney.
How much is really there, Tony's fine. I think that's a good pick. Drake London and also in the round 11.
I really like that pick.
Great pick.
Round 12. First pick, Kenneth Gainwell. Second pick, Trey Lance. Third pick, Kenneth Walker. Fourth pick, Buffalo defense. Fifth pick, Alexander Madison. Sixth pick, Jamal Williams. Seventh pick, Khalil Herbert. Eighth pick, Russell Gage. Ninth pick, Tom Brady. 10th pick in the 12th round, Chase Claypool. So I was, waiting for Trey Lance and Dead Bob's Cafe, man.
He scooped him on you.
He scooped him, man, when I least expected it.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, I was. I'm high on Trey Lance's upside, so I settled for Tom Brady in the 12th round.
That's fine.
Not mad about it. I think he has potential to be a top 10 quarterback. We know what he is. There's not much to say on him. Other picks in this round, Kenneth Gainwell.
I don't know. I really liked him getting close to the start of the draft. But I don't know, man. I don't know what they view him as. I think this backfield's murky. It sounds like Boston Scott is kind of their number 2. Mm-hmm. He was handling the starter reps in preseason. I know Miles Sanders is out, but I think the guy might be Boston Scott. And it sounds like Kenneth Gainwell is more of like the third down back. And I don't know how valuable that will be with Jalen Hurts at quarterback because he'll just, put his head down and run. But he's an interesting pick because I think he's a good talent. It's a solid pick in the 12th round.
Russell Gage. I like that pick.
Yeah, he's been falling. Just Julio might be.
You gonna go 13?
Sure. Alexander Madison might get traded, which would be cool.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that's another pick I liked in that round. Madison, you
Do you
can't
think
go
he
wrong.
gets traded?
No, not
Okay.
for the asking price.
That's fine either
You
way.
can get in a 4th round pick for him.
They might, man. Someone gets hurt, they'll be desperate.
Round 13, first pick Tyler Boyd, second pick George Pickens, third pick Odell Beckham Jr., fourth pick KJ Osborne, fifth pick Mike Gesicki. Lobo Solo ain't done yet.
Tight end number 5.
Jacoby Myers, 7th pick Sky Moore, 8th pick Brian Robinson Jr., 9th pick Tyler Algier, 10th pick in the 13th round Darrell Henderson Jr.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick. I think Henderson getting him that late is real good.
I love the Tyler Boyd pick. I like KJ Osborne pick. Jacoby Myers is interesting. Sky Moore.
What about Odell Beckham?
I didn't know what happened.
That was kind of a shocking, yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it could potentially be a pretty good pick. I don't know when he's going to play again, though.
I don't think he'll be ready for the regular season.
Is he worth the stash?
He tore it in
the Super Bowl.
February.
Yeah. I guess, that's what we call a dart throw, man.
I guess maybe like luckily if he gets signed and he plays like the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. But like, are you going to play him then?
I don't know. He probably won't be on the roster, but we'll see.
George Pickens.
George Pickens.
Round 13.
Round 13. He's been very, very, very studly in the preseason.
Dog.
We'll see. It's just a dart throw. See what kind of, see what kind of points I can get out of him.
Good pick at this point, yeah.
But basically, all these are, dart throws, third wide receivers, and good offenses. For example, Tyler Boyd and KJ Osborne.
Yeah.
And backup running backs, man.
That's all it is, man. Just shooting for upside.
Ooh, I'm still on the blue sea, but there's red. Skyline.
Yeah, I'm wearing red undies.
Oh, my gosh. Round 14. Yo, we got a Jay Tucker alert.
Kicker alert.
Justin Tucker with the first pick in the 14th round. Julio Jones, second pick. Third pick, Treylon Burks. Fourth pick, Evan McPherson. Fifth pick, Nico Collins. Sixth pick, Raheem Mostert. Seventh pick, J.D. McKissick. Eighth pick, Zamir White. Ninth pick, Rashad White. And 10th pick in the 14th round, Marquise Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, I think Treylon Burks is a name that sticks out to me here. He's got a lot of upside, like you said, man. This is late round, getting him this late in the 14th. We don't know anything about Tennessee's receiving core. They took him in the first round. He's been pretty much a roller coaster this offseason with asthma, dealing with injuries, working with third string. But then that final preseason game, he kind of showed a lot with Malik Willis. And I think you're betting on his talent at this stage and his potential to be the number one in this offense. I love that pick.
I'd say there's a few interesting picks. Julio Jones being on Tampa Bay now.
I like that.
Nico Collins being the number 2 on the Texans with Davis Mills. Zamir White.
Love that pick.
And MVS, just to see what happens in Kansas City. I think it's worth the shot.
You took Rashad White, who I love, but would you have considered Zamir White over him if he was there?
No, I would have taken Rashad White if I was there.
You have your eyes set on him, huh?
I have my heart set on him.
Yeah, he's a great back. He's gonna be a really good back one day.
I agree. I don't wish any injuries. I'm not gonna say anything on this podcast because I don't want anyone coming after me, and I want everyone to be healthy.
Hypothetically, if Leonard goes down, do they just throw Rashad White in there? You think?
Honestly, I think so.
Me too.
I think he's primed for that, and I think the coaching staff, he's gained their respect and trust. So I think they'd be, set it and forget it on that.
Could be, yeah. They may rotate him in like Keyshawn Vaughn.
Keyshawn Vaughn, yeah.
But he'll get some work.
Round 15.
Yes, sir.
First pick, Sony Michel. Just signed with Did he sign with the Chargers?
He did.
Cool. He got a lazy eye. Second pick, DJ Chark Jr. Third pick, Romeo Dubs. Fourth pick, Noah Fant. Fifth pick, Jarvis Landry. Sixth pick, Michael Gallup. Seventh pick, Kenny G. Eighth pick, Tampa Bay's defense. Ninth pick, McCall Hardman. 10th pick, Irv Smith Jr.
I think my favorite pick in this round is DJ Chark.
Really?
I think so, man. I think he's a good player. He's put up 1,000 yards before in Jacksonville. To me, his situation was kind of like he needs a fresh start. He needs a new look. Going to Detroit, who's kind of lacked weapons out there. And I think he can command a lot of work, man. I know Amon-Ra is the number 1, but DJ Chark, I think, is good enough to be the number 2 out there and be the big body guy on the outside.
I would name this round the has-beens.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at it like Sony Michel, DJ Chark, Jarvis Landry, Michael Gallup. No, there's a few in here that I wouldn't consider has-been. Michael Gallup, I like that pick a lot. Kenny G, McCole Hardman. I'm not drafting him no more. He's, I'm done with him.
I think he's still dealing with injuries as well.
Yeah, he's just hard
All
to.
off season.
It's either guys that never took off or has-beens. I don't know how I feel about Romeo Dubs. I mean, I like him as a player. I think Noah Fant was a good pick.
I don't think so.
I like the way he looks on the couch.
I don't know. Seattle's just not enticing. And
I've gone to the back room!
and like Jarvis Landry's like an old guy, but like he can be a target guy in the Saints, right? I mean, what if Michael Thomas misses games or whatever?
Is he going to blow your wig back?
Chris Olave is a rookie. Like, you don't know. He could be a reliable target.
Herfed.
But upside, no. There's not much. Kenny Galladay, maybe, if he learns how to play football. Round 16.
Round 16. First pick, Los Angeles Rams defense. Second pick, Matthew Stafford. Third pick, Russell Wilson. Fourth pick, Tyler Higbee. Fifth pick, Joshua Palmer. Sixth pick, Devontae Parker. Seventh pick, Sammy Watkins. Eighth pick, Aaron Rodgers. Ninth pick, Jahan Dotson. 10th pick of this 15th round is San Francisco's defense. You got some quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks when, me and Luke were kind of hunting on that. We saw Russell still there, Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. I wanted to maybe shore up some things, but I never had a backup quarterback. But those were really appealing to me.
Yeah, it makes me kind of, at the time, it made me second guess my Jalen Hurts pick in the 7th round. Just because seeing like Russell and Stafford and these guys come in the 16th round is like, man, these guys could have been value.
Oh, it's 16th. I'm sorry.
But I've never been a proponent or a big guy on taking 2 quarterbacks, and a lot of teams did in here, and I don't love it, but I guess I understand it. I mean, eventually you're gonna have bye weeks and injuries maybe, but you got other positions to fill up, man.
I think you're just salty because I'm salty about it.
I'm not salty because I have Hurts.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But I guess I'm salty the fact that I took Hurts and these guys fell this late, maybe. Because, I mean, you could have had, a better... You could have taken a running back or receiver and gotten these guys this late. But that's the risk you take, I guess. Do you like any of the positional players here? I see you took Jahan Dotson, which is the third to last position player taken.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing. Dart throw, he's been getting rave reviews in training camp. I'm not really expecting much, but you never know. So I'm just rostering him in a wait-and-see kind of guy.
I like it because he's a rookie. I like it because he's potentially the number 2. And this late, we've seen all these third receivers go. I took Josh Palmer, who's a third receiver, which it might be ideal to take the number 2 in Washington. You never know. I mean, he's a rookie. He could be really good. Wentz could really like him. I think it's a good target this late because he is the number 2, in an offense.
Yeah, I just read reviews on him, and he looked real good, so why not? Round 17.
That's kicker and defense. I ain't worried about those.
Hey, come on. There's got to be someone out there.
I mean, someone took Cousins and Carr. And then 18th, I see Jalen Tolbert.
Derek Carr's not even on the waiver. I thought he was the one that made it to the waiver.
Nah, he got picked.
Golly, boys, you guys got me dry.
They sucked him up. Someone even took Baker Mayfield, man. These guys are sick in the head.
That's 3 M's, man. That guy's known for the Baker love.
Yeah, he does it every year.
Jalen Tolbert, Isaiah Spiller.
And shout out Marvin Jones for being Mr. Irrelevant.
Hey, Marvin Jones, I think he deserved it.
Me too, man. He's a long-tenured, well-respected guy in the industry.
He was in The Revenant.
Was he?
The Bear.
California Bear.
Yeah, he was, man. That guy was angry on him.
He is a California Golden Bear.
They'll eat you while you're still alive.
So what did you think about this draft, man? Who were some names, some teams that you really liked out of here?
I liked the draft process, and I think everyone has a really solid team. I think we're all on the same kind of level. I think it's going to be very competitive. I'm not going to really pick my favorite teams or the best teams. I think, time will tell. We'll give updates on this podcast. I just think I want to thank everyone in Campbell's League for being on time and having, really good drafts and, very knowledgeable league. And I look forward to, battling for the chip again.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Really, all these teams could go like 6-8 and 8-6. That could be the first place could be 8-6. The bottom place could be 6-8. That's how close it looks. It's just
I like every roster I've looked at. Like I see pros in every team. Like I'm like this team could win it. This team,
Mm-hmm.
There's not one that just like there's no head over. There's no team that's miles above anyone. There's not a team that's a bottom dweller.
Right.
Sturgill might be there though.
Sturgill bottom dweller. But it's like even the teams that you're like, wow, that's good, and then you look at the bench and it's like, yeah, every team has flaws, every team has good players. And the amazing thing about fantasy football is you just never know.
Never know.
There's a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of unluck involved. And it's bound to happen. Injuries happen. Breakouts happen. I guess my number one thing is be active on your waiver wire.
Yeah, we already got some activity. I'm loving it, man. We got some guys that are really full steam ahead. And that's what I like to see. I think we have a solid group of guys, knowledgeable,
Oh, we
smart,
always do, yeah.
It's just a beautiful league. Looking forward to it, man. Thank you for listening to another episode of Forget What You Heard, 100th episode.
Ooh, Chase.
If you want to reach out and talk to us, you can email us at forgetwhatyouheardpodcast@gmail.com. We love you guys. Thanks for the support. We wouldn't be here for the 100th episode without you. Peace, love, and happiness.
Shalom.
Chalk plays with chalk.